everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. My name is Shelley Winter. I normally air Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mark is out today. He'll be back tomorrow. And just because Mark's not here, I will have your keyword of the day at 10 a.m. So please stay here. Keep it locked here for your chance to win $1,000. I will have that keyword even though Mark's not here. We've got a big show for you tonight. I got author Brad Meltzer, big fan of his. He's coming up at 9:36. We've got Newton Callisto Gingrich, 10:19, and Eric Erickson at 10:36. I got Judge Cassandra Kirk of Fulton County Superior Court. She's calling in to talk to us about budgeting with the court system here in Fulton County. So we've got a lot today, and so don't go anywhere. Just stay right where you are and listen all morning long. I want to start here. You kind of heard a little bit of what I want to talk about with Chris Chandler and Christina Edwards was having a conversation before at the end of Atlanta's morning news, and I want to follow kind of take what they were talking about a little further, because I'm not from here. If you couldn't tell, I born and raised in New York City. Been down here about almost 27 years, and but what tends to happen when you're not from the South and you're from an area where snow is a regular part of winter, and you grew up with a lot of snow falling during the winter, we tend to have this kind of attitude of making fun of, right? And we hear people talking about the snow. We see you running into the stores and buying up all the toilet paper and the milk and the eggs and the bread, and we make fun of, right? And I'm guilty of that, right? Friday night, I was on the air from 7 p.m. to midnight. And from 7 to 8, I was on the phone with chief meteorologist for 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk, Christina Edwards, who's wonderful. She's the MVP during these big winter storms. I mean, she knows everything, and she's a brilliant young lady. And so I was on the air with her from 7 to 8 on Friday. And from 8 to midnight, things seemed to be not that bad. But for all week long, you know, everyone was telling us, hey, be prepared, be prepared. We even started having meetings here at the office here on Wednesday about what we're going to do and how we're going to cover and what the plan was and everything like that. And I'll tell this quick story. I called up the comms, my good friend Garrison Douglas, who's part of the comms team for Governor Kemp. I given him a call Wednesday. I was on my way to the office, and I just called him up to say Happy New Year to him, and he didn't pick up. And he usually picks up my calls, and I wasn't concerned about it. Figured I'd hear from him again. He'll call me back whenever. And he texted me about a minute or two later saying, sorry I couldn't pick up your call. We're in planning. We are in planning meetings for the storm. And this was 48, almost 72 hours before the storm hit. And I thought that was interesting. I was like, planning meetings already. And then the governor announced a state of emergency for Georgia days before the storm hit. And so this kind of better than thou attitude that many of us have when we move down here from other areas kicked in. I was like, state of emergency? Thing hasn't even hit yet. We don't know what's going to happen. Meetings 2-3 days before, even here when we had our meetings planning what we were going to do to cover the storm on Friday 3 or 4 days before, I was like, what's going on? This is so much. This is too much. But then Saturday, when I woke up Saturday to come into the station to do the Car Guy show, which I do every Saturday at noon, and Inside Georgia Real Estate with Deborah Morton at 1 o'clock on Saturdays. When I was coming in to do those two shows on Saturday, the roads were clear. And it hit me. I was like, you know what, Shelley? It's not that the storm wasn't that bad. It was bad for the Atlanta metropolitan region. 2 inches of snow fell. It was 4 inches in Druid Hills. Where I live in Cobb, it was a little bit higher than that, maybe 3 or 4 inches in Cobb. A lot of snow fell in areas. North Georgia got a lot of snow. And then add to that freezing rain. And then add to that 32 degrees weather, 32 degrees. The temperature was 30, 32, 33 degrees all day Friday, most of the day Friday into Friday night into Saturday morning. The temperatures were low. But what happened was we were prepared. Leadership matters. The reason why we all talking now like, oh, that storm wasn't that bad, it really was bad. But the state at every level of government, the media in every outlet, the people all across the state, we were prepared. So that's why now on Monday, we're all sitting back saying, it wasn't that bad. They fear-mongered us. It was disaster porn media coverage. No, it wasn't. It prepared us so that way we were ready for it, and that's why now it seems not to have been that bad. And so this whole opening to the show is to say kudos to everybody. Kudos to our management here where we were having meetings days before on how we're going to cover it and who was going to do what and where people were going to be. Jonathan O'Brien was out and about talking to people. Christina Edwards was here from 5 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. Television was covering it. Television had people all around. And one of the big messages from the governor on down to mayors of big cities, even to small town commissioners, was stay home. Stay off the roads. And that's why it doesn't seem as bad now, because we were all prepared and we all got ready for it. And the biggest thing that I saw, the governor, by announcing the state of emergency 2 or 3 days before, it got everyone in a frame of mind to be ready. And once you're ready, you're prepared. If something is predicted to happen and then you make preparations for when it happens, it doesn't seem that bad because you are prepared. And I start the show off with this because right now we're looking at California and these wildfires. And I'm not blaming anybody. This is nature. Nature does what nature does. We can't control Mother Nature. But what we can do is we can prepare for what we know Mother Nature is about to deliver. And in California, we're seeing the response and leadership of one Gavin Newsom versus the response and leadership delivered by one Governor Brian Kemp. Two different types of leaders. One prepared because the predicted weather was coming, and he had his state prepared. The other, which has wildfires all the time, got caught with his hands in his pocket. Two different types of leaders, two different types of leadership. Now, I'm not comparing wildfires to 2 inches of snow on the ground, but what I am comparing is the response to Mother Nature's, what she delivers to us, and how we prepare because we know it's coming. And kudos to everyone in Georgia, from the media to the governor's office to the mayor's office, mayors of big cities, small towns alike, to hero units, to Georgia Power, especially having linemen ready to go. Kudos to everybody, even the citizenry in Georgia, because that's why this storm turned out to not be that bad, because we were all prepared. Shelley Winter in for Mark Arum. We'll